Yeah, downstairs is very Lady Charlotte with her bird cage, the ivy. It's very prim and proper. And up here you have Vijay, as you can see, the decanters and the suitcases. So yes, it's completely two personalities there we're representing.
Welcome to the Lush Life podcast. I'm your drinking companion, Susan Schwartz, and I bring you the how-to guide for living life one cocktail at a time. Thanks to my mother's love of martinis, the first words I spoke were shaken, not stirred, and I've been obsessed by cocktails ever since. Together, we'll learn from bartenders, brand ambassadors, distillers, and others why certain drinks are popular in certain cultures, how to make the perfect old-fashioned, when to shake and when to stir, and so much more. Hear that sound? It's time to cozy up to the bar and let the fun begin. Our guests today are the guardians of Lady Charlotte Fitzrovia's daring love story. It was up to Sandy Koar and Mario Romano to recreate the world of Lady Charlotte and her lover at Vijay's Lounge in London's busy centre of town. How did they even start? I'll let them tell you all the details.
It's my team. So we are based in Delhi. So a lot of the partners, they're all very well travelled, whether they've studied in London or US. And one thing we noticed was there was a gap in the market in India, especially with food festivals. Like there's huge, Indians are huge foodies, but there was nothing actually of that scale of a food festival. Like you have Taste of London, and in America you have huge food festivals. So we wanted to bring something over to to India. So that's when we conceptualized the food festival, where we brought along on board home bakers, up-and-coming brands, established brands, and we put a festival together.
Okay, you are so one step ahead of me. Now, you say we, and we went to India with this idea. You sound very English. So I assume you were English.
Yes, I was born here.
You were born here. So what even took you to India?
Well, as kids, our parents would always take us at least 3-4 times a year. So when I had to go and move for the Grub Fest, it wasn't something new to me. I was quite accustomed to it. And I do love India. Like there's, from like north to south, there's so much to explore. So I was actually, when I had the opportunity, I jumped for it. And
all right, now what were you doing before that? What did you study?
I was doing business studies. And then I did a diploma in marketing communications with CIM. And I was doing a marketing consultancy here. And I did some wedding planning as well. So the whole planning kind of went in hand when I went to do the Grub Fest, the organisation skills and everything. So I was doing consultancy work here, and that was involved in more like branding, communication, and conceptualising. I love creating ideas. I feel I'm quite creative. So when I moved to Grub Fest, my role was more for the ideation, like creative ideas. How are we going to have our communications? How is the whole festival going to be designed?
So it was conceived here in London?
No, it was in Delhi. In Delhi, we all had our ideas about it, but due to other projects that were running, everyone was a bit busy. And so then when we did have the opportunity, we kind of clubbed all our ideas together, and we thought, well, let's start off with not just restaurants, because Delhi's huge, and there was just so many, like you had street food, you had up-and-coming brands, you had home bakers, and established brands as well. So we kind of clubbed everyone together, and we had like areas for them. So when you walk in, we've got a grub market where you've got home bakers coming in there, and some amazing products, whether they're making jams or homemade cupcakes or Indian sweets, branching off onto like street food, and then the established brands we had. So it's a real experience of food, not just Delhi, but it kind of represents the whole of India, and it's a 3-day event. So there's quite a lot to get through. How long ago
was the first one?
The first one was in 2015.
And did you see it succeed right away, or was it a slow burn? I mean,
no, we did have an overwhelming response. Of course, when you're planning, you're quite nervous. It's first of a kind, and the exhibitors were, they they were a little bit overwhelmed as well. Like, wow, like, are you guys really going to put a huge festival together? And but we had great support because it helps the brands. So when we would speak to them to get them on board, we'd explain it's not really, don't look at sales, look at a platform to push your brand out. So I think from a marketing point of view, it's a 3-day event where you can actually promote your brand and see, you know, what's happening, because there's so much competition, and India as a whole, as a country, it's developing quite fast as well, and it is evolving. So it was quite nice to get interesting brands on board. It was a struggle, nothing's easy, because some people have never heard of it, but overall we did have a positive response.
And were the purveyors all pretty local to Delhi?
Yeah, pretty much local. We did have some coming from Punjab and outer cities as well, so they just thought, wow, like, this is one of a kind opportunity, and they liked the whole package that we were giving, not just, you know, a stand. You get marketing support, you get your branding, you've got some PR, so it was good. We did like a whole 360 experience for a brand. It's not just take a stand, be there for 3 days, we make money, great. No, we were very much involved, and there's also a huge music section as well that we've introduced as well to the Grub Fest. So we had some great artists from the whole of India coming on. So it's a great 3-day event.
Well, considering it's still going on and going strong,
it's going very strong.
It's a success.
Each year, you know, we've started. I remember the first one we had like nearly at least 20,000 over 3 days, and it's been only increasing. You know, up to 50,000 plus now. Even the recent one, it's just it's. I would say we've got a loyal following. So I think, you know, got people travelling from out of Delhi as well, from Mumbai, from other major cities in India. So it's literally something that they all look forward to.
All right, let's move on to you, Mario. Now you don't have any connection to India.
No,
Where am I wrong?
not yet.
Only to Italy. So where are you from?
I'm from Napoli, in south of Italy.
All right.
And I've been living in London for the last 3 years.
And what brought you here?
So everything started when I finished my university, after I studied economics, University of Napoli. So it started to be like more experience. I wasn't planning to stay here. It was more like a temporary adventure. Just wanted to improve my English, and then, you know, sometimes things just happens. Just moved here, meeting new people, colleagues, having a new job, partners. You know, now my life I think and I feel is in London.
And were you always bartending?
In Italy, I used to work for the biggest cocktail catering of Italy. It was called Bar in Movimento.
And that's in Naples?
Yeah, it's in Naples, but it's a national company. So it's the biggest. They also have a really strong relation with many worldwide companies like Camille Chandon, Belvedere, like really important companies. So having that background there, that I can say that it was more like a war going to work in Napoli on a Saturday night in our club. Coming to London was really helpful for me, because here everything is much more organized.
What made you decide to come to London in the first place?
In London, of course, is the main city in terms of cocktails in the world.
So you really wanted to focus on the cocktails and not the economics?
Yeah, I mean,
the
economics I've studied, and I think it's fascinating. It was fascinating university for me, but I don't feel like it's my life, because I like it. I like to study it, but I don't feel a passion in that. And what I'm doing now, I feel like strong passion. So it's everything about, you know, being passionate about what I'm doing. Otherwise, I'm not the kind of person that would go to work just for the money and go back at home. That's my main point. So I'm always looking for something to make me happy about the money or something like this. And I found that, for now at least, I found it in the bartending. So coming to London, I started to learn the bartending under a different point of view. Because obviously London is the most important city in terms of cocktails. It's the story of the cocktails also, and especially nowadays. And here especially, it was a great opportunity, in Locandua, especially the Vijay Lounge, because being in London, having an Italian background, which is still really, really important in the beverage story, the cocktail story, but working in an Indian place, so having another approach, gave me a really good opportunity. And, you know, good push also, because I had I think an unbelievable opportunity being in the center of London in Fitzrovia. And if you think all the other bars around us, like, is another kind of approach. There are not many Indian bars in London at all.
Okay, well, hold on for that thought, and let's go back to you and how you even started thinking about having a restaurant here and a lounge.
I think as the Grub Fest was evolving, the team, as we were there, it was something we wanted to get into restaurants anyway. It was we're all very young, dynamic team with lots to achieve. So everyone put their points down, and it was something as a team that we did say that, because you see so many restaurants, so many brands, and we were also inspired by just listening to when they came on board their brand story. So we have we have certain procedures. You've got to understand what the brand is, so you don't have too many of one, say, cuisine, for example. And it was really interesting to hear how everyone's come together with their story. And I feel we're all very passionate. I feel that's why the Grub Fest is so successful. We're very carefully source everyone on board and support. And then we did a lot of research ourselves, and I was spending a lot of time in Mumbai as well. And just was fascinated since travelling to India as a kid as well, that the whole the British Raj and how things were in the British time there, and how they still, some elements of it is still present today, and it's just carried on. And Mumbai really reflects that really well. And then I visited a place called Lokhandwala, and there's a famous shootout there. So I thought, oh wow, this is amazing. So when we were looking for a space in London since 2012.
So already in 2012 you were thinking we want to have a presence in
we
London.
were saying that when we open a restaurant, where would it be in London? So location is key for any business. So from 2012 we eventually settled in. Remember, Grubfest is still running, so we're trying to be everywhere. So we're busy with that. But then locations, this one popped up in Fitzrovia in 2016 when we finalised and we took this on board. And why Fitzrovia? We found some amazing locations, but I think Fitzrovia, it's up and coming, it's really trendy, it's laid back, it kind of fits with our personalities and also with the brand. And you've got Soho next door as well. And I feel we wanted to bring this story over so we can conceptualise it as well, where the audience would be able to accept it as well. And we feel this was a prime location, and the way the building is as well, it fits really well with the story.
So, and that story that you wanted to tell was what?
That this story is about Lady Charlotte of Fitzrovia, who was a British aristocratic's daughter, which were based in Mumbai. And while she spent her time in Mumbai with her tea parties and just spending time there with her family, she loved everything about India. And whilst her time out there, she fell in love with a street boss, Vijay, who was from Lokhandwala.
And what is a street boss?
Street boss, like a gangster.
Oh.
So we had the famous shootout there. So it was just an interesting twist to it all, the falling in love while she was in India, and hence her family never accepted it. So when she moved back here in Fitzrovia on Charlotte Street,
with her street boss,
eventually he came over. Hence you've got her dining room downstairs, and now you've got the VJ's lounge speakeasy up here, where they spent a lot of time together, and he would conduct his business here as well. So if you look at all the furniture and attention to detail, it's all literally like the old cabinets and the books and the telephones. So it's all just a reflection of his rags to riches story as well. So hence we came up with this concept of, because you've got loads of bars, as Mario said, there's so much happening in London, but what makes your place stand out? And one thing in marketing that they teach you is everyone loves a story, and I think that's what we've carefully curated and spent a lot of attention to detail here. Like everything at Lokhandwala and VJ's Lounge is bespoke, it's customised, we've carefully sourced it. So if I break this side table, I will struggle to get another one. So I think that's what's so exciting about our brand. We're here to give you an experience.
Something that Lady Charlotte would
Absolutely.
be really proud of.
Absolutely. So downstairs is very Lady Charlotte with her birdcage, the ivy. It's very prim and proper. And up here you have Vijay, as you can see, the decanters and the suitcases. So yes, it's completely two personalities there we're representing.
So how do we even start to conceive what Vijay would drink?
Being an Indian gangster, I would reckon it would go probably for the whiskies, because India is the biggest consumer of whiskey in the world. So
is that where you started?
Yeah, that started from that point, of course. And it was even my passion, the whiskey, so it was easy for me. Also, it was really easy. No, where I was more than that, the creation of the bar, I think, especially in this area of London, is giving an opportunity to us and also a choice to the guests. for a kind of bar that I don't really see in London anymore. Because of course the cocktail scene in London is really competitive and the level is really high. But at the same time, especially in the center, in this area, it's really difficult to see to go in a bar of this level with this kind of deco and have this kind of experience. Lately, it's more like you're going somewhere and you feel like you're giving some. You know, even the people there, it can be a sommelier or it can be a bartender. It's like it's almost testing the guest. Here, the level is really, really high of our drinks, of our customer service. But at the same time, you want the people to come here, relax, and have fun. I think in London nowadays the bar has been forgotten a bit. Why the bar has been created? To give fun to the people. You know, lately it's been a bit like a heavy night. You go to a bar and you need to actually listen to a sommelier, to a bartender talking to you for probably 30 minutes about all his cocktails and all his drinks. We want to do that if you want to, but at the same time, if you just would like to have a conversation with us about completely other stuff, your things, it's absolutely fine. You can just have a glass of house wine and talk to me all night.
But your cocktails have stories to them.
Yes.
So
All based around Vijay and the whole concept here. We have like the butterfly effect, we've got Bollywood, we've got the gambler, we've got shootout Lokhandwala, so everything Mario's curated, we've sat and tried to have it hand in hand here. So it's quite interesting because when the guests come up here, majority of them actually, because I host a lot of events here as well, and the guests come over and they'll say, oh no, we don't want to try the cocktails, we'll just have wine or so, they're just in their comfort zone. And so, which is great for us because we're very passionate about what we've created and we're like, everyone must try. So when they hear the names, they're like, oh, that's unusual. And then the ingredients, and then of course Mario and his team will start explaining it. And then we do find that once they start the cocktails, they do like to explore a bit more. So
well, with the creation of the cocktail menu, did you start with the story first, or did you start with the cocktail first?
To be honest, I try to do both at the same time. Also, when it happened to me to join 2 cocktail competitions here in London, and in both occasions I did the same. If I want to give a story to a cocktail, I'll never be the kind of person who just, okay, this is a cocktail and I'll just make a story now. No, there is a story between the cocktail and the name of the cocktail and every single ingredient. So basically what I try to do is inspire, of course, all the drinks to Lady Charlotte, Vijay's, Lokhandwala and India, and then starting from them, searching the right ingredients and then making the right cocktail.
So why don't you talk me through one of the cocktails, the story, and the ingredients?
So I would say this cocktail that Sandy mentioned, there's going to be an award menu, the butterfly effect. It's a cocktail that that is inspired more than the India about the theory of the butterfly effect. The butterfly wing can change, somewhere else in the world. And it's
again, a romantic idea.
It's a bit the story of, if you think about also Lady Charlotte and Vijay. She was the daughter of a viceroy in India and kind of a rebel, having a relationship with a gangster in Lokhandwala. So in this cocktail anyway, we have also representation of the butterfly. So it's also really nice, the presentation of the drink. So it's capturing your eye, first of all. The color is also really nice, it's purple. And the ingredients are representing also India. There is fresh coriander, fresh ginseng. So it's something a bit particular and unique, I would say. So that's what it is at the end. It's a nice mix of all of us. The management that is Indian, me I'm Italian, and the Lokhandwala restaurant that is in the center of London. So I think we blended all the ingredients together and creating cocktails.
Well, I've got to try that cocktail. Should we go up and try it?
Yeah, why not?
I want to thank Sandy and Mario for taking the time to sit down with me. More about Charlotte and Vijay is revealed when you visit Vijay's private lounge for a cocktail. The butterfly effect which Mario was describing for us is glorious, but it can only be found upstairs at Lokhandwala. So my choice for cocktail of the week today is the Ananda Brew. Also Indian in flavor, but maybe not quite so romantic. Time for our cocktail of the week. The Ananda Brew was created by mixologist Topesh Chatterjee, who hails from New Delhi. Put all of the following ingredients in a shaker: 1 masala tea bag, 60 ml of vodka, 50 mLs of egg white, 20 mLs of lime juice, and 20 mLs of sugar syrup. Then simply shake it all together. Serve it in a martini glass and garnish with a slice of orange and a cinnamon stick. You'll find this recipe and all the cocktails of the week on alushlifemanual.com, where you'll also find all the ingredients in our shop. See you next week when we head to France. The life of our next guest was spent entirely around cognac. So what did she do? Create her own, but different. Come see what Fanny Fougerat did that has every bartender lining up to create cocktails with her very personal style of cognac. Until next time, bottoms up.
Thanks for listening to the Lush Life podcast, the sister of A Lush Life Manual. For more information and links to everything you heard, plus a bit more, please visit alushlifemanual.com. Always remember the wise words of Oscar Wilde. All things in moderation, including moderation. And always drink responsibly. Okay, I said that last part. Theme music is by Steven Shapiro and used with permission. Lush Life is produced by Terra, and I'm your hostess, Susan Schwartz. I'll see you at the bar.